Raegan, good to see you again. Welcome back to Popternative.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you too. Oh
It's your third time on the show. It's pretty crazy.
my God.
It's
I'm
interesting, right?
regular.
There's a lot to unpack here, right? Season 3 of Night Court finale, some really cool kind of, guest stars from worlds that we are familiar with. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
sitcom world is so powerful. Night Court, new Night Court, Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon. You and Simon guest star in the finale, which is really, really exciting. There's a lot of conversations and how we got there. Take me through getting on set officially, that first day on set of Night Court. What's that like for you?
Oh, it was so much fun. It's so cool. I've been calling it the Big Bang cinematic universe because it all is so interwoven and connected. But it was so much fun the first day. Immediately being on set, you can just tell everyone is there to have fun. They're all so welcoming and open, and I just had the best time. It was so interesting going though from a set where I knew everyone to a set with almost all new faces.
Mhm.
With there was a few familiar ones. Obviously, I know Melissa, I know Wendy Malick, but everyone, pretty much everyone else was new faces, and so that was really interesting. It was also interesting to go into a finale episode for my first one because that feeling is so bittersweet. You're ending a season, but you're also looking back on the season and being proud of the work you've done. So it's a mix of emotions, but it was so much fun and I had the best time.
That's actually interesting to think about because you're like the new kid on block because it's almost like everyone's got done their whole semester together. You just show up
Yep.
on the last day of school.
No, I'm literally showing up on the last day of school pretty much.
I mean, you were at the school of Annie Potts before that. Well, it's a pretty good school.
That is a great school to be at. I love that school. And School of Annie Potts alum right here.
We talk about that every time you're on the show, so I have to bring it up.
I love
I
it.
find it interesting too, right? Because, there's going to be at some point this kind of opportunity to do a really cool guest star spot like this one. And there's going to be some conversations, right? Like, you obviously get the scripts of your character. Are there a lot of conversations though with the creators and writers of the show about the fact that this storyline is kind of cool because it is a little bit of an homage tribute to a storyline in the original Night Court? Like, do you know about that going into it? Like, I'm just curious about that.
So I knew about it going into it, and I immediately was Night Court has such a wonderful, lovely, dedicated fan base
Mhm.
already. And I knew going into it, I was I want to do this right. I want to make the fans happy. I want them to love this episode. And so I watched the original one with Michael J. Fox and I did my research and I definitely knew about it going into it. And it was such an honor to be able to try to fill those shoes. Melissa, earlier, I was talking to her and she was like, we knew Ray gonna be able to fill those shoes. And I'm like, girl, I love you, but that's Michael J. Fox. I cannot fill those shoes. I tried. I tried my best, but that's Michael J. Fox right there. But I think I did my best, and I'm really excited for fans to see it. I really hope they love it. It's such a fun episode.
Absolutely. You mentioned the beginning of the interview, the Big Bang Theory kind of universe, so to speak. You recently also reprised your role as Missy in Georgie Mandy. And I did want to ask you, take me through, once it's official that you're returning to that series as Missy, what's that first conversation like with Montana about that spinoff specifically? Do you remember that first conversation, whether it was on the phone or on set with him? I'm just wondering about that first conversation.
I think it was just us being really excited. It had been a little bit since, when I say a little bit, a few months, but a few months is too long to not work with Montana. And so I think it was just us both being super excited. It was a new take on the show with multicam and everything. And I think it was just us being oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. And we were both kind of nervous because we never done multicam before, but he's killing it. Of course he is. It's Montana, and it was just so much fun. And I think the first conversation was really just us being so excited to get to work together again.
Absolutely. With Night Court, after you wrap your episode and you say bye to everyone, Does that kind of excite you in regards to the possibility of, doing another show in front of a live audience? Because it's so interesting. Because like once you're immersed into it, and it's like the laugh track and like a live audience, like it's so much different sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's so different. It really opened my eyes up to like me kind of wanting to do theater at some point because multicam is so similar to theater. It's basically like the 3 month rehearsal squashed into a week. But it was so much fun to do multicam. I loved it. And I would 100% do another multicam again. I want to like do a drama at some point, but multicam I think and that will always have like a place in my heart. It's so much fun.
I feel like you'll answer this question a lot with Young Sheldon because of the amount of seasons, but you can answer this with Night Court as well. I find it funny, right? Because sometimes the audience member will watch a scene and it's like 2 or 3 minutes of runtime, then it goes to the next scene. But my filmmaker hat's always on when I think about this, because it's like sometimes there's like a scene that we see for like 2 minutes on screen that might have taken you like a whole day or like 2 days to
Yeah.
film. When that happens, does it feel like that scene is like its own mini movie, mini project, or does it feel like a part of the project? Because it's funny to think about, right? Sometimes.
Definitely. I mean, there's been times where you have, especially with the tornado episode we did on Young Sheldon, um, where I mean that took so long to film because it was so extensive and so intense, and we also wanted to take it slow so that we got the best possible outcome from the scene. And so that definitely kind of felt like its own mini movie. And then obviously in the show, it's like a probably like a 5 minute long like section of that episode, but it felt like it could have been its own episode. And I definitely think like it's so interesting to be like, well, we spent all this time filming it, but it really is only this small portion of it.
No, absolutely. It's so interesting. And it's so exciting I'm so excited for people to see the finale of Night Court tomorrow for season 3.
Yes.
Because it's literally worlds colliding. It's the Night Court of the Big Bang Theory world colliding, which
It
is really,
is.
really exciting. Reagan, so great chatting with you again. Thank you again so much for your time.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.